Hello, callers. Welcome to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. Starting with this transfer news, talking about Sofian Amrabat, as it has been reported that Barca will sign the Serie A midfielder only if all other targets fail. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, secondly, in this episode, talking on this other transfer news, claiming that Barcelona are considering this Real Betis ace Guido Rodriguez as their pivot. Xavi likes the player, but the Barca board has doubts. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. As Barca scout the market for quality replacements for Sergio Busquets in the pivot midfield role, Sofian Amrabat has been linked with the club quite heavily. The Blaugrana went hard for this signing during the January transfer window after his explosive performance at the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar, where he helped Morocco reach the semi-finals. However, a move did not go through as Fiorentina were reluctant to let go of their prized asset midway through the campaign. But with Amrabat's contract expiring in a year, the Viola are ready to cash in on him in the upcoming summer window, and Barcelona are understood to be again in the queue for his signing. However, while Amrabat remains one of the options to reinforce the midfield for Barca, Gerard Romero is reporting that he is no longer a priority target for the La Liga champions. The La Liga champions will move for the Moroccan ace only if they fail in their attempts to land their other targets. Considering Amrabat's contract situation, it has been reported that the midfielder could be available for a bargain price of around 5 to 6 million euros only. But Romero is now claiming that the Fiorentina and Morocco star, who is understood to be keen on joining the Barcelona, is no longer among the priorities at the club. As has been known for some time now, Real Sociedad star Martin Zubimendi remains the preferred target for manager Xavi Hernandez. Apart from him, Real Betis Guido Rodriguez is seen as an alternative. Meanwhile, Barcelona president Joan Laporta continues to fancy the signing of Ruben Neves from Wolverhampton Wanderers thanks to George Mendes' connection. Belgian youngster Arthur Vermaelen is also an option, along with Chelsea veteran N'Golo Kante. So it remains to be seen who Barcelona ends up signing to replace Busquets. But at the moment, Amrabat is not a priority and the club could go for him only if in the scenario that they fail with other huge targets. Of course, Busquets replacement will be the topic of discussion for majority of this summer. There's no doubt about that, as after Busquets did announce that he will be leaving, Barcelona had to accelerate their search for a new DM. And for the longest time, Barcelona have been searching a new DM, even if Busquets could have renewed his contract, So Amrabat have been that player that have been linked for such a long time, since the January transfer window, where Barca were reportedly very close to signing him, especially on deadline day. But the move failed to materialize, as Fiorentina stood their ground that Amrabat will stay and will not go anywhere. Of course, the player was so disappointed about that decision because he knew that opportunities might come just once and he might not have that opportunity to go to a club bigger like Barcelona. And fortunately for Amrabat, Barca still keep an eye on him. He is one of the options, but according to this report, Barca will only go for Amrabat if and only if other options fail, which means that Amrabat is by no means the top priority at the club, is by no means the top priority for Xavi Hernandez and the board. Of course, Xavi's top priority, as we all know, still remains Real Sociedad DM Martin Zubimendi. But of course, Zubimendi's price tag is a problem for Barca. 60 million is what they are asking. In fact, 60 million is his release clause, and Sociedad can't release him until they are asking just for the 60. That's the only thing that they need to sell Zubimendi. But Barcelona feel like the price is way too much and they won't be able to afford such. That is where the problem lies as it stands. So there's still a lot to be decided, still a lot to be decided over the coming weeks or months, as Barcelona still try to search for the ideal replacement for Sergio Busquets, who will be living alongside Jordi Alba, of course, with one unknown player, according to new reports, which will be announced this coming Sunday. We don't know who that player will be. So I think a new era is coming. Gradually, we can see the old era is going out of dust, and a new era is emerging. That is how things go. So let's see actually if Amrabat will be the player, but I very much doubt because Barca prioritize other players ahead of him. Then on to the final story of discussion. Barcelona have their work cut out for them in the summer transfer window as they look to reinforce their team with several signings across the starting lineup and the bench. Signing a backup for Robert Lewandowski was always on the cards, while the club was also looking to bring in a left winger and a central midfielder. Jules Koundé's unwillingness to play as the right back also meant Barca are also on the lookout for a right back. If that was not enough, Barcelona have been hit with the departure of Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba, both of whom will leave the club at the end of the season. While the club have Alejandro Balde and Marcos Alonso to cover for Alba, Busquets' position remains unfulfilled. Recent reports from the ever-reliable Gerard Romero have stated that Barcelona have 6 names to reinforce the pivot position. One of those names is Real Betis' Guido Rodriguez. Xavi likes the player and his profile, but Barca's administration has doubts regarding the signing. Now 29 years old, Guido has made 32 appearances for Betis this season as they are looking to secure a position in next season's Europa League season. He is far from the only name on the table for Barcelona, though, who are also considering the likes of Oriol Romeo, Ruben Neves, N'Golo Kante, and Martin Zubimendi, also doing the circles in the rumors. Apart from them, Barcelona are also keeping tabs on 18-year-old Belgian wonderkid Arthur Vermeeren, who currently deploys his trade for Royal Antwerp in the Belgian Pro League. Bayern Munich's Joshua Kimmich was also on Barca's radar. He, according to reports, had offered himself to the club recently as he wants to leave the German Giants this summer. However, Barca have ruled out his signing and will focus on the alternative, all of which should cost more or less than Kimmich.